everybody, and this is the Player in Focus show from the 9-0 drubbing of Southampton the other night. On rating the ratings, I put up Bruno Fernandes, Fred, Mason Greenwood and Wan Bissaka. There was about 2,500 votes, and Wan Bissaka got nearly half the votes. So Wan Bissaka is the Player in Focus, and the few clips that I'm going to talk through, I think there's a dozen clips. Yeah, about a dozen clips that I'm going to talk through. I'll be up on Twitter late tonight, on Rick the Red UK on Twitter. Just a couple of things quickly. First of all, anybody who saw me show, this is separate from the Player in Focus, who saw me show when I was looking at the games yesterday and what's going on this week. It just shows you how difficult it is, and why the bookies make so much money, and why gambling is regarded as a mugs game by so many. I was speaking on the show yesterday morning, I think it was, or yesterday afternoon, where I said I fancied Leicester have got Jamie Vardy missing, and Fulham are so difficult to beat, and I said I really don't fancy Leicester to win there, and they won there 2-0 in a canter. And at the same time, I also said that Graham Potter's doing a fantastic job at Brighton. I've got great admiration for him. They play great football, but Liverpool have just turned the corner. They strolled it at Spurs last week, and they won 3-1 at West Ham as well. I said I think it'll be a step too far for him. I said I really don't fancy Brighton. I think Liverpool have just hit in form again. And then Brighton go and win there 1-0. So it just shows you, no matter how clever you think you are, in the Premier League, you can get upset. So many of the teams, when they set themselves up, can be so difficult to beat. And sometimes you think that might happen, as I did in the Fulham game, but Leicester really strolled it from what I could see. So that was that. On the Player in Focus show from the Southampton game, look, it's not easy. A fullback, as is often said, a fullback's main priority is defending. But in a game where they've, come on, let's be honest, Southampton were decimated to start with. Of course you never know, but I fancy United might have won that game comfortably, even if Southampton would have had 11 men till the end of the game. They were absolutely decimated players-wise. They had 2 goalkeepers on the bench. They didn't have enough. They had 2 youngsters in the starting lineup. Who wouldn't normally probably even get on the bench if they were at full strength. So it really was a thankless task. And then for them to lose a man, which rightly so, by the way, it was horrendous. You couldn't call it a challenge. A horrendous foul on Scott McTominay, and the lad got sent off. Re-watching the game, by the way, I noticed that the lad hadn't even touched the ball, and I'm pretty sure it was his debut. So I think that kid there, he might have broke some sort of record. On his Premier League debut, I think he's got sent off before he's even had a kick at a ball. But rightly, he had to go, and it left Southampton with a mountain to climb. Now then, of course, they're going to hang on as long as they can. But our fullbacks, and obviously I'm doing Wan Bissaka as the Player in Focus, and most of it is going to be about the attacking side of the game, because obviously United were completely on top virtually throughout the match. So it's going to be a lot about the attacking game. Now, a lot of the time as well, 1 or 2 people have said to me, oh, you should have given more 7s and more 8s rather than a couple of 6s and all 7s. You see, I've just watched it again, and not that you can do anything different. There's lots and lots of simple passing, just moving it, getting the opposition, but there's no difficulty in that. I often say, my favourite Johan Cruyff saying that playing simple football is the hardest thing there is, as Mr. Cruyff said. But I think he's talking about simple football when you've got opponents around you and you getting it under and passing it simply when you're in difficult situations. They're just sat back and we're passing it around in front of them. There's hardly any difficult situations. So as much, I'm not criticising our players. I'm just saying how it is. Most Premier League defenders could have played for us in that game, and it wouldn't have been a problem no matter who they were. Lots and lots of simple passing. Back to each other, back and forth, maybe into a midfield player, get it back again, give it out wide again. And there's virtually no degree of difficulty. Yes, they all played well, of course they did. But apart from obviously the forwards, because they're surrounded by players, but definitely for the defenders and probably for the midfield players, there's no degree of difficulty. There's virtually no opponents around them, as I say, especially the defenders, but at times for the midfield players as well. So, you know, it's okay saying they played well, but to go over the top when it's so easy, I think it'd be a bit. I don't think you necessarily need to do that. And a 7 means that they played well, and I think virtually they all played well. Or I think a couple I gave a 6-2, which was just decent. I mean, you know, everybody played decent, and some of them played well. So that's the way I saw it. So here's the clips that I'm going to put up about Wan Bissaka. The first, obviously, I'm going to put the bits up. We need him to improve on certain things, as we often speak about, and some of these things appeared in this game. In a roundabout way, it's a good one to do on Wan Bissaka, because it is his forward movement and his passing that a lot of people criticise him for. And I think we all know that defensively, there's more to defending than just tackling, by the way, but I think we all know that he's a great tackler. Sometimes his positional sense could be a little bit better as a defensive wise, which is part of defending, by the way. But most people are completely happy with his defending, and it's about his attacking. So it's a good game in a way to look at Wan Bissaka, because we're looking a lot at what he could do in the final third, because that's where he spent, you know, quite a lot of the game. So the very first bit, and I'm just going through them chronologically, it's not in order of this is good or that's bad, it's just what happened first, and I've gone through the game bit by bit with a fine-tooth comb, and I think I've got 12, one still, but I think there's 11 clips and one still. So the first one, Bruno passes it to him. He's in the right wing position. He's just on the edge of the box, you know, the side of the box, and he should drill it across. If you look at the clip, you can see you've got Greenwood and Cavani attacking the 6-yard line. They're attacking that 6-yard line. They want that ball. That is the most dangerous ball in football. It's difficult for the defenders to defend against. In fact, Marcus got in a similar situation later. Maybe I should have put that clip up, but Marcus drilled one across, and one of their defenders turned it into his own net. It's a horrendous ball to deal with. So this one, Bruno gives it to Bruno's pass maybe could just be a little bit further in front of Wan Bissaka, but even so, I think he could maybe even take a touch and touch it forward a bit and then drill it across. But he settles for turning back and giving it back, and I think he should have drilled it across the 6-yard box. That's the first one. Clip number 2 isn't a clip, it's a still. So it's still number 2, but it's a still. And it's just a still photograph, just to show you the space that he's got, and you can see the players attacking the box, attacking the 6-yard box, and he should be drilling that across. 2 people attacking the 6-yard box is plenty, by the way. You've also got a couple of people on the edge of the box, definitely Bruno, probably McTominay or Fred. So there's enough players there that he can take a deflection, it can come out to the edge of the box. Just get it drilled across, like, as I say, like Marcus did later. So number 2 is the still photograph showing you the space and time that he's got there. Clip number 3. It's a lovely weighted ball. It's well played by Wan Bissaka. This is about his passing, a beautiful weighted ball into McTominay's path. McTominay realises that it's a situation where you do need to try and drill it across. He tries to drill it across, but it's a little bit tight for him. He's right by the dead ball line, but it's a lovely pass by Wan Bissaka. But it comes back to Wan Bissaka because the defender hits it. And then when he gets it this time, he's not got a great angle for crossing it. And I think his decision's perfectly fine, just for passing it into midfield and just recycling the ball. But when you get into the situation like McTominay was in, which no 2 situations are exactly the same, but it's a position where you do need to try and drill it across. But as I say, it's a good ball by Wan Bissaka, and it wasn't a bad decision just to recycle it when it comes back to him. Clip number 4. It's quite a long crossfield ball to him. Again, in that attacking right back stroke right wing position, and I don't think he does anything wrong here. He controls it, but by the time he controls it, there's a player in front of him. He's got a couple of options. He can't really get a cross in at that moment. He could try and take him on, or just turn back to McTominay. Again, he doesn't really do anything wrong at all. It's quite nice. He gives it to McTominay. McTominay gives it back, and he gives it back to McTominay again. He just rolls it nice and gently for him to just cross it, and McTominay puts a really dangerous cross in. So that's a good piece of play between both McTominay and Wan Bissaka. So in that situation, I wasn't concerned whatsoever that he wouldn't cross it, and quite a few of these are going to be about crosses. Clip number 5 is his goal, which is the first goal of the game. All important in a game when the team sat back against you. The most important goal is the first goal. So that was a right bonus to get that from Wan Bissaka. What I want to point out on this, it's about 20 seconds long, that clip. You can see Lindelof play a hell of a long ball for Rashford to chase. You can't see Wan Bissaka in the shot, but you can see Lindelof, you can see Maguire, you can see Shaw. The camera angle just doesn't show you Lindelof, but surely he's probably in line with the other defenders. But it's a long ball by Lindelof from our own half all the way to the corner flag, where Rashford collects it and turns back and gives it to Shaw, by which time Wan Bissaka's made it into the box, so he's in his own half at that point. So that's showing great desire, and he's still not in the picture. Really, as Rashford turns to give it to Shaw, you can see Mason Greenwood approaching. He's still 10 yards outside the box, Mason Greenwood, and Wan Bissaka's not in the shot even at that stage. So it's worth noting that. So he shows great desire there, and deserved his goal, and it was a nicely taken goal, and it was an important goal. As daft as it sounds when it's 9-0, you never know what's going to happen. The longer it goes for them, I think it was about 25 minutes gone, they're looking towards half time. You know, it's easy to say, look, it was 9-0, don't be silly. If they don't get that first goal, you know, I know you've got to get the first goal, of course you have, but when that first goal comes, it can open the floodgates. It's as simple as that, and the longer they can hang on, the better for them. Clip number 6, this is in defence. There's a little bit of a loose ball, but he has to turn away from a man as he gets it. He takes it away from that man, gets his body between him and the ball. Then he cleverly beats another man, and yet another man comes down, forces himself onto him. I think it's Danny Ings, the last one, and he plays a lovely weighted ball down the line. And I think that's really good play in his defensive third. That's clip number 6. Clip number 7. Clip number 7, he receives a pass on the halfway line, takes a good touch, but there's a man right on him. He just turns back and gently rolls it back, I think, to McTominay, and then he turns and goes forward again. I think he had license to go forward as much as he wanted to. McTominay plays it to Bruno, who flicks it into Wan Bissaka's path, and he goes on a good run, gets almost to sort of level with the 6-yard line and tries to square it across the 6-yard line, and that's what we want to see from him a little bit more often when we're playing against 11 men, trying to get not necessarily in the box, but you know, near the edge of the box, trying to get to within that 6-yard line distance of the dead ball line and getting it across. That was clip number 7. Clip number 8, this time he's outside the box, but again in an advanced position, beats his full back comfortably, a nice little bit of skill, and puts a decent crossover. That's a high cross, that one, and a decent one. And clip number 9, this is one where he should do better. This is what I'm talking about when you're talking about they should get 7s and 8s, or they should get 8s instead of 7s. There's just one of... Look, all the simple stuff in the world is fine, and I don't mind all the simple stuff. You know I don't mind the simple stuff. But at the same time, if it's ridiculously simple, where you've not got any pressure on you, really, you don't need marking up. And then when you look at some of the stuff that's not good, it balances out. And I think a 7 for all the players was perfectly adequate, even though I gave a 6, 1 or 2. What I'm saying is I don't think I needed to give an 8 to anybody. So this is clip number 9. I think it's Bruno puts him in behind, exact sort of position. This is what you talk about, the delivery, exact sort of position that I hate this. You know, talking about Liverpool, I'm doing these shows, but they're fullbacks. They try and get Trent Alexander into that position time after time. So does City, by the way, with Walker or whoever they've got on the other side, Zinchenko or Mendy on the other side. Liverpool have got Robertson and Trent Alexander. They try to get people in behind the defence so that they can get that ball across that 6-yard line, and this is particularly poor, I think, by Aaron. He's in a great position to drill it across the 6-yard line, and there's 3 United players attacking the 6-yard box, and he cuts it back behind them, and there's nobody there, and he should just decide. You can tell that he cuts it back deliberately. It's not an accident. So why does he decide to cut it back? You've got to see them people attacking that 6-yard box. You've got to drill it across. And as happened with Marcus's cross in a similar situation, you know, it was a defender who put it into the net, and that can happen for you. So he takes a poor decision on clip number 9 and pulls it back, and there's nobody there anyway. Get it drilled across the 6-yard line whenever you can if there's people attacking that 6-yard box. Clip number 10 is his fantastic tackle on Danny Ings. This is defensive. It's a great tackle. We all know he can do that. What I want to mention here is the flag then goes up, and Danny Ings and Wan Bissaka are both hurt. It takes Ings a short while to get up. Wan Bissaka gets to his feet early, but he's limping badly. And I don't know how they can sort this out, but at some time in the near future, I think someone's going to get seriously injured, where if the liner would have just put his flag up, the situation wouldn't arise. Now, I know they want the play to run on in case somebody scores, and then let VAR decide. But I don't know how they can do it. Maybe they've got to sort of have, if you say to the lines people, if you really think it's probably offside, you should put your flag up, and you know, you're going to get 1 or 2 wrong, fair enough. But at the same time, as you might get the odd goal disallowed that might have been, or the odd situation stopped that might have led to a goal, I do think that the fact that it's running on so many times in every game you see it, I do think it's going to end up with someone getting seriously injured when really the play should have been stopped. But as we're talking about Wan Bissaka, he just shows what he's great at there, and he does catch him up brilliantly and does a great tackle. Clip number 11 is a lovely ball. We talk about his passing not being good enough. It's a fantastic ball all the way down to Greenwood into the channel, perfectly weighted. It really is a quality pass over a bit of distance. Greenwood chases it. He's got somebody on him. He checks back. By the time he checks back, Wan Bissaka's there in support and receives the ball back from Greenwood. He's made the ground up from, 20 metres inside his own half. So that was lovely play by Wan Bissaka. And then last but not least, he smashes one across the 6-yard line from just outside the box. It evades everybody, reaches Anthony Marshall, who takes a fantastic touch and smashes it into the net. So he ends up getting an assist with the type of ball across the 6-yard line, or just outside the 6-yard box, this one, not much outside it, but the type of ball that we need to get our full-backs putting in to the box on regular occurrences. And also, we need to be getting our full-backs into position to do that in a roundabout way, playing against 10 men on a, was it Wednesday night or Tuesday night, whatever night it was, Tuesday night, is a little bit like a practice game. You know, they've done it well a few times, and we don't see it often enough, we really don't. And now that they've made it work against 10 men, trust me, it is a lot easier. So some of the things that happen, I've heard people say, yeah, but it's only against 10 men. Like Martial's first goal, he's got his back to somebody, takes it down on his chest and takes another touch and then swivels and smashes it in. That doesn't matter that was against 11 men. He's got one man marking him, like he would probably have one man marking him. And lots of different things like that happen. But what does happen when you're playing against 10 men instead of 11 men is the people who are outside the box putting the crosses in. They wouldn't be receiving the ball as often. They won't be getting as much practice, like I've just said. They won't be receiving the ball as often, and they also wouldn't be as much space so often. What they're doing with the limited numbers that they've got, they're trying to pack the box. So the box it probably is just as packed as it normally is. They allow the space wide. I know that's dangerous, but it's not as dangerous as leaving people free in the box. So the lads on the flanks, the fullbacks and the wingers in a game like this will get more joy when you're playing against 10 men without a shadow of a doubt. So that's why I think Luke Shaw ended up with 2 assists. Wan Bissaka's ended up with a goal and an assist. So we need to see, not necessarily saying score goals regularly, of course I'm not, but certainly getting into these positions where they can smash it across the 6-yard box and get decent crosses in. So it worked really well, as I say, against the 10 men. Let's hope You know, I'd be over the moon if we could get one goal like that against Everton. I'd like us to get 2 or 3 goals, but if one of them is from a ball that's smashed across the 6-yard line by one of our fullbacks, I'd be absolutely over the moon. That's at 8 o'clock on Saturday, the Everton game. I hope you've enjoyed that show. If you enjoyed that show, please subscribe. Please tell all your friends. If you didn't enjoy it, don't tell anybody. Keep stum.